The following people will be arrested. There is an international criminal warrant for their arrest. You heard me right. Meaning that they will be taken to International Criminal Law Court, which is Guantanamo Bay, ran by the United States Marines. You heard me absolutely correct. The following people are every landlord, company owner, all your attorneys in the United States, every single local law enforcement official, judges, mayors, governors, nurses, doctors, teachers, anybody who has enforced a law of the Dead and Null and Void Corporation since 2017. There is an international criminal warrant for your arrest, and it will be done by the military. You heard me correctly. In 2017, Donald Trump gives the power back to we the people from the government, meaning that he had just eliminated the entire Act of 1871 and all laws with it. All federal, state, city, county, local laws, all your state statutes, company policies, your gun laws do not exist anymore in the United States. We are sovereign people under common law. There's a big difference. That means your government never had the power to do a 2020 election, because the power was given back to the people 3 years before the 2020 election. That is why Donald Trump signed a presidential executive order on December 7th of 2020, after all the results were in of the 2020 election. He was asked, now that you've lost the 2020 election, sir, will you give a peaceful transfer of power to Joe Biden? He said, it will not be a transfer of power, it will be a continuation of government. Whose government? The people's government. I gave the power back to the people 3 years before in 2017. Remember, he had military tribunal judges on one side of him? Yeah, those are military admiral judges, people. They're the ones who's over at Guantanamo Bay. They are also the ones that you will be seeing as soon as your arrest warrant is delivered to you. And on the other side was NSA. That is military intelligence. They've been recording everything you guys do. They have every single law enforcement official's badge numbers. When you book somebody into jail illegally and unconstitutionally, every 911 call, every scanner call, every single court case, every single court hearing, they have it all. Anything that is ran by a computer today, which is basically everything, they have it all. Your emails, phone calls, text messages, they follow the money trail to see who's violating Executive Order 13818. That would be property blocked for human rights abuse and corruption, and you will be arrested. You didn't have the power in 2020, people, to do an election. That's why he never gave power back to the government. That's why on January 6th of 2021, he came out and said, I know it looks bad, guys, but trust me, the best is yet to come, because we worship God, not the government. You heard me, right? That's why he also gave you guys all of you, a fucking fair warning to go home. Stand down, cease all operations. That was military law, folks. When he came out and said, we had an election, it was stolen from us, but I need you guys to go home. Go home in peace. We must have peace. That was the Proclamation Act to disperse under military law 10 USC 334. Go look it up. He had to do that first before he signed the Insurrection Act, meaning that's why military showed up in D.C. 25,000 armed National Guard soldiers from all 50 states. They were federalized as U.S. Marshals to come across state lines and into D.C. Your news media just told you a different narrative. They weren't there for the inauguration. Trust me. They were there to arrest every single government employee in D.C. And that's exactly what they did. Because if you go to D.C. now, everything's boarded up. Your Capitol's boarded up. Your White House is boarded up. Your FBI building has a wall in front of all the doors. There's nobody there. They replaced everything that you're seeing today with green screen actors, central casting. How many times did Trump tell you guys? Central casting, central casting. Now, do you understand? Everything you're seeing today is complete show. It's all fake. That's why William Walker, the general of the Pentagon, came out on January 20th or January 11th of 2021 and said, I do believe I have enough military here today for a peaceful transfer to military power. So the power went from Trump to the people through an executive order signed December 7th of 2020, transferring power over to the military. Now, when Trump returned on January 20th, 2025, he signed the death penalty. Here's how you know you don't have a Congress. You don't have a government in D.C. That executive order would have never been allowed. The United States Supreme Court was always against the death penalty for treason. They were always against the death penalty in Congress for treason because it could be used against them. They didn't like it. That is how you know today you don't have a government. Executive Order 13961. Parts of that executive order was transferred into the death penalty. Executive Order 14164 is the death penalty. And it tells you straight out. It is for all law enforcement officials, cartels, and illegal immigrants. Well, your cartels are anybody who works inside of a federal, state, city, county, or local government building today. Your illegal immigrants are anybody who took an oath inside the United States, including doctors. You heard me right, nurses. Anybody that has violated human rights abuse. Under Universal Human Rights Declaration Act, Articles 1 through 30, you violate one of those. You have committed an international criminal act. It is a war crime. That is backed up by an executive order 13818. That is still active today. Certain sanctions for foreign interference in the 2020 election. That's worldwide as well. Still active today. That would be Executive Order 13848. Every year these are extended. Now let me tell you something. They wouldn't extend these if they weren't going to use them. That is why you don't have much time left. People are actually coming up missing without a trace in the United States right now. Corporation landlords are. Didn't Trump just come back from Davos and say that the United States of America will no longer be a country for renters? He did. What does that mean? It means they're going to execute every landlord. Now, do you understand? All your attorneys, your judges, and your law enforcement officials will be the last people to go because they're going to have to do that by force. And that's when martial law is going to kick in and you're going to be locked down. Now, there's something else that you're not understanding. That your illegal immigrants are anybody who took an oath inside the United States under 18 U.S. Code 1481, paragraph 2 of the U.S. Constitution. And it tells you straight out. If you took an oath inside the United States, you gave up your United States citizenship to the British Crown, and therefore that made you a foreign domestic terrorist, operating illegally on U.S. soil. That is why on October 1st, 2025, military retook their oath to the United States Republic and to the people. Those 800 generals that were over there in Virginia, yeah, that's worldwide military, folks. You heard me right. Every single country in the world is now the United States because of that Executive Order 13848, certain sanctions for foreign interference. Well, we had foreign interference in the 2020 election from all over the country, all over the world, I mean. That's why Greenland is the United States. Mexico is the United States. Canada is the United States. Now do you guys get it? Every single country in the world will now belong to the U.S. because of that presidential executive order. But you don't have a government in D.C., people. You don't have a SCOTUS, nothing. There's nothing there. They're making you believe that you still have a government because it's a distraction. That way you motherfuckers don't catch us when we're coming in. You don't expect us. But do expect us because